you're thinking about living in Tucson, Arizona. Well, today we're going to take you around Tucson, Arizona. We're going to take you inside of my computer and show you all around Tucson so you can get a feel just where things are located, where the university is located, where downtown is located, and where people actually live. And we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about living in Tucson, Arizona, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in Tucson, Arizona. My name is Trisha Kay. My partner Carter, the team and I, we get calls and emails every single day from people just like you looking for help in making their move to Tucson, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days or 3 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'll be happy to help you make a smooth move to Tucson, Arizona. Like I said, today I'm going to take you inside of my computer. I'm going to take you around on a map so that you can see exactly where things are located here in Tucson. I'll take you to the downtown area, I'll take you to the university area, and then I'll take you to the areas where people actually live. And then we'll zoom out so you can see where the mountain ranges are and where some of the suburbs are as well. So if you're thinking about moving to Tucson, this is kind of a good way to get your feel of where things are located here in Tucson. And then if you stick around to the end, I'm going to let you know a little known secret about Tucson that you don't want to miss. And we're going to get after it right now. Okay, so here we are in my computer. I'm going to show you around Tucson. As you can see, this highlighted area here, this is the city of Tucson. And I'll tell you real quick just a few things about the city of Tucson. They call Tucson the Old Pueblo, or if you live in Tucson, you're a Tucsonan. And if you've lived in Tucson, born and raised, then you are a native Tucsonan. The city of Tucson is 226.7 miles. That's how big it is. And then as far as city population, Wikipedia says there's 542,629 people that live in Tucson, Arizona. So I wanted to tell you that that's within the city limits here. Now, if you start adding up the suburbs, which would be, like Catalina Foothills, Tinca Verde, Oro Valley, Casas Adobes, Marana, and then Sarita, Corona de Tucson, Vail, and there's more, over on, a lot of this is Marana, but there's people over here and people over here as well. So if you include the suburbs of Tucson, and they all kind of blend together, like when you're driving along, you can't see where one ends and one begins, then in the metropolitan area, which would include these suburbs and Tucson, there's 1,014,000 people in the Tucson metropolitan area. So it's a pretty good size city if you combine those as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go over the freeways real quick. This is the I-10 freeway. It kind of goes across Tucson like that. So a lot of Tucson takes the city streets. You just take the streets when you drive around because the freeway doesn't get you everywhere. It gets a lot of places, like if you're going from one side to the other, but a lot of times if you're just in your area, if you live in Tinca Verde or Catalina Foothills, you mostly just use the inner roads or any of these other areas as well. Even within the city, a lot of times you just use the roads to drive across town and you don't use the freeway, but there are times that you do use the freeway. But there's no freeway going, this way across Tucson. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, if you go that way, you're going to start heading towards Phoenix. So Phoenix is about 2 hours away. There's also this I-19 freeway, which this gets you to some of these suburbs, the Sahuarita and Green Valley and Corona de Tucson. You could either take depending on where you live, the 19 or this I-10, you can take that as well and go. It's kind of in between. For Vail, obviously you would take the I-10. But that's what I'll tell you for the freeways. This over here is a highway, so it's not a freeway. And also Oracle Road here, this is a highway. So there's lots of stoplights and businesses and everything all along this Oracle Highway, but it is big and it's many lanes wide, so you can get a lot of places relatively quickly. The other thing Tucson has is this, it's called River Road, and it goes all along here, and there's a big wash. It's a river wash. And when it rains, it fills up and runs like a river, or when the snow melts in the winter, then it runs like a river. But most of the year, it's just a really big dry riverbed, and there's a road that goes all across that. And so it's called River Road, and that is a lot of how you get, across town as well. And there's a few roads like that, but I just wanted to tell you about that River Road. The River Road also has a bicycle path along there, a paved bicycle path, and a lot of people use that. And Tucson is a big bicycle place, and we have what's called the Loop, which the Loop is 131 miles around Tucson. I'm going to actually pull up that map for you real quick just so you can see the Loop. There it is. It goes all around Tucson, and people bike this all the time. Once a year in November, we have a race here in Tucson called Tour de Tucson, and a lot of people do the Loop, and it's really neat, big race. Okay, some other things I'll tell you about Tucson. Okay, so there's 5 different mountain ranges here in Tucson. They kind of surround Tucson. Here's the Tortolita Mountains, and then these Catalina Mountains. Over here, the Rincon Mountains. Over here, the Tucson Mountains. And then this way to the south is the Santa Rita Mountains. So it's kind of surrounded by mountains, and you'll notice that, you know, it makes Tucson is kind of a valley. They have an A mountain that's kind of like a rocky hill that they put a big letter A on over here. That's kind of by downtown, but on the other side of the freeway. And we have that, but it's not really a mountain. But Tucson is surrounded by mountains, so it's kind of like a valley. And a lot of the homes actually are built up against the mountains, and people that live in the suburbs, they usually want a view of the mountains, and they're just beautiful. All the different mountain ranges, some of them are green, some of them are saguaro, some of them are cliffy rocks. They're really different, and they have a lot of character, but there are a lot of mountains in Tucson, and they're just really beautiful. Actually, they really are. So hiking and biking, as I already mentioned, but because of all these mountain ranges, there's a lot of hiking in Tucson. You know, all of these mountain ranges called Sabino Canyon, and it's actually a paved path that goes really far deep into the mountain, and you can walk on that paved path. There's also a tram. You can pay a little money if you want to ride the tram and just see it, and you don't want to actually walk it because it's uphill and then downhill when you walk home. And there's bathrooms all along the way. Lots of people just use that path in the morning and exercise. I was there not long ago, and there's, you know, deer in there, and it's just really cliffy and beautiful, and there's usually running water there in Sabino Canyon. So there's a lot of hiking and biking here in Tucson, and a lot of outdoor activities, because 9 months out of the year our weather is just outstanding. 3 months out of the year it's very, very hot. So let's be honest, it's hot in those months. And when the monsoons come in July, then it's humid, because it'll be clear all day and hot, and then that night about 5 o'clock the clouds roll in and it rains. So that's what you get in the summertime. It is very hot, but in the wintertime it is beautiful, and it's an outdoor place. People hike, bike, walk, everything. It's very nice. So now I'm going to show you around Tucson itself a little bit more, like the city of Tucson. So we're going to zoom in so I can show you downtown. Here's downtown, and then here's the University of Arizona. So downtown is here, and then you kind of go under an underpass and then go to the University of Arizona. So that's kind of how that works. I'm going to zoom in a little closer on downtown and just show you around there just a little bit more so that you can see it. So here's downtown, and then over here is a little barrio area, which these are all old adobe houses, a real old area, and it's really connected right there by downtown, but they're made out of adobe, and they're really brightly colored, painted places, and it's real historic down there. Really neat area to drive through. It's just really cool buildings and houses. They've turned a lot of them into law offices or medical offices, but there's still plenty of people that live down there. It's very artsy looking, really pretty. The Tucson Convention Center is down here as well. And here's downtown. There's a Tucson Museum of Art. The downtown has really tall buildings, and it's mixed with old and new buildings. So you see a lot of the old historic, beautiful buildings mixed in there with the downtown lofts and condos and just, you know, work buildings. And then there's a lot of murals in the downtown area, a lot of restaurants and shops in downtown. So that's there. This Hotel Congress is an old historic hotel that's down there, and it's a neat place to check out. There's also a tram that goes along that area. I was just telling you, you know, it goes from downtown, and then it goes through an underpass, and then it also goes over to the University of Arizona. I'm not sure where my roads are because I can't see the names, but it goes about like that. I'll back out so I can see better and kind of show you a little bit better what I'm talking about. So there's 4th Avenue. So here's downtown. And then you can take, you know, you go this way until you get to about 4th Avenue, and then you go under an underpass. And when you pop up on the other side, this 4th Avenue place, there's a lot of little shops and restaurants all along here. Now, this is not part of downtown, even though all this is downtown and these are skyscraper buildings and all that kind of stuff. Here, it's all little shops, restaurant, coffee shops, breweries, Very artsy, very funky down here, but lots and lots of cool shopping. And a couple times a year, this is called 4th Avenue. They have what's called the 4th Avenue Street Fair, and they close down the streets and they set up tons and tons and tons and tons of booths of artsy things. I like to go like around Christmas time because I can buy Christmas presents, but it really is cool to go check out the street fair. If you've never been, you need to go at least once and to check out the shopping and stuff down there, and it really is pretty neat. And then if you turn, this is University Boulevard, and you start going this way. Now all of these are like university houses, little bungalow, old style houses that have kind of a Spanish flair to them. Really cute, lots of character, very cute. Lots of university kids rent these houses down there. And then this is University Boulevard, and it goes straight to the university, and there's lots of little restaurants and shopping. And this is different than 4th Avenue in that it's a little less artsy and funky, but really nice coffee shops and nice shopping and stuff like that right there by the U of A. So that's neat, and you can literally drive right into the U of A space if you stay on that street, on that University Boulevard. There's also a tram that goes, and it covers all this area, and it's a few dollars. You can hop on the tram. There's stops all along this way of 4th Avenue. It goes into downtown, and then it even goes, you know, down towards this barrio area and everything. So that's pretty neat. Here's the Tucson Convention Center. This is where they have big concerts and everything. So here's downtown. It's right there by downtown, right by the barrio. And it has all the big things, all big concerts or anything really big that comes to Tucson goes to that Tucson Convention Center because it really is quite big. And then you can see the University of Arizona is right there. So I'm going to undo some of this and back out so I can show you a little bit more of Tucson. I want to make sure I'm getting everything that I had mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and show you within the city of Tucson, the top 3 neighborhoods according to niche.com. So the number 1 neighborhood according to niche.com is right here. It's called Highland Vista. Cinco Villa is what it's called. And you can see over here is the University of Arizona. So you can kind of see where this is. It's east of the University of Arizona. These are really busy roads, Broadway and Speedway. Those are very busy roads. But this is like a little pocket, and that's what niche.com calls the number 1 neighborhood within the city of Tucson. And a lot of these are older brick houses, but they're a pretty good size and they're nice. It's a nice neighborhood when you drive through, and that I wanted to be sure to mention. And then the number 2 neighborhood is right near there. This is called Mittman, and it's very close to that neighborhood. Again, you can see University of Arizona's here, and here's Speedway, and here's Broadway. And Mittman is just a little more to the east, and I believe a little more to the south of where the other neighborhood is. But you can see this area, and this is their number 2 neighborhood. It's very similar. I just noticed the houses are a little smaller in there, but there's a lot of red brick houses, a lot of old houses that they fixed up. But it's neat. The trees are really big, and it's a really cool little area. And then the number 3 neighborhood, according to niche.com, is right across the street from the University of Arizona. So here's the University of Arizona, and then this literally has like a stoplight that goes into this neighborhood. And it's a really cool old historic neighborhood. And this one is different because all of the homes, each home is different, and each home has like, this is a really old historic neighborhood. The other ones are too, but this one's older. And it has like old Spanish style homes, and you know, there's lots of arches and lots of character, and there's lawns and huge trees, and it's just so close to the university. Again, this is what niche.com called the number 3 neighborhood, but it is also the most expensive neighborhood of these 3 because it's just really cool, nice houses, and it's so close. You can just walk to the U of A like really easily. You can see the U of A like from a lot of these houses. So I wanted to make sure and show you those neighborhoods. Now I want to show you just kind of maybe a few landmarks of Tucson. Well, I'll show you a couple of malls first. Here's downtown. So over to the east, a little bit of downtown, and a little bit to the south is the Reed Park Zoo. It's a very nice zoo. It's a big zoo, and they have everything. Across the street from that is the Elcon Mall, and that's a big mall that definitely has department stores and stuff like that. Down the same street, this is Broadway. Down the same street, there's a Park Place Mall. It's a little further down. It looks like it's not on this map, but it is quite a ways down. But there's the Park Place Mall, and that's another really nice mall. Now over here is the Tucson Mall. It's south of downtown, and it's, you know, a good 20 minutes or so from downtown is that mall. The Park Mall is probably also 20 minutes, and this Elcon Mall is probably 10 or 15 minutes, so that you can kind of picture that. But there's the Tucson Mall. Here is this La Encantada Mall. So this is in the Catalina foothills, which is kind of like our Beverly Hills of Tucson here. The Catalina foothills has this long cantata mall, and this has everything, you know, Crate and Barrel, Pottery Barn, all that kind of stuff, Williams-Sonoma, lots of other stores in there. And then it has a lot of restaurants, and there's a really beautiful indoor-outdoor mall, and it has, like I said, lots of restaurants, beautiful mountain views, beautiful city views. So over in this area here, where this AMC Foothills, this is called the Foothills Mall. And this one, they actually just tore it down and they're rebuilding it back up and making everything new, and they're redoing the whole thing. So that should really be something when it's done. It's going to be very nice. And then the last mall I'm going to show you is out in Marana, because it's an outlet mall. It's right off the freeway, and you can see it over here. This is called the Tucson Premium Outlet Mall. Now, all the other malls have like restaurants, like in the parking lots and things, you know, Olive Garden, stuff like that, Cheesecake Factory over there at the other malls. But this Tucson Premium Outlet, they do have a food court in the mall, but they don't have restaurants like in the parking lot. But I will say this area is growing like crazy. This is Marana. There's tons of stuff being built all right here, all right here. All of this is just being built like crazy. It's growing really, really fast, and they're getting new things all the time. So although this is a really cool outlet mall, you know, they have Nike and Carter's Children's Store and Saks Fifth Avenue outlet store. There's lots of stuff, but like I said, there's just a food court. There's no big restaurants there yet, but I have no doubt they're coming, because that area is just really growing. So let me see if there's anything else on my list. I wanted to show you just a couple other things. Over here is worth mentioning. Over here is called the Saguaro National Park, and it has, you just drive through and it's just the most beautiful saguaros. It is a national park, but it really is stunning. So I wanted to point that out. And there's one over here as well on the east side, and it's beautiful as well. Just mountains covered with saguaros, and it's so gorgeous, and it's a protected area. So I thought I would point that out. Now, I'm also going to point out a landmark for Tucson is the Sanavir Mission. The Sanavir Mission is just absolutely beautiful. They call it the White Dove of the Desert. It is a historic Spanish Catholic mission church, nicknamed the White Dove of the Desert, located on the Tohono O'odham Nation Indian Reservation. And it's such a beautiful church and so historic. It's only 10 minutes from downtown, but it's definitely worth going and checking that out. Again, that is kind of a landmark in Tucson. And the other kind of landmark in Tucson that I'm going to show you, in the northwest here, just past Saddlebrook, we have the Biosphere. And that is, you know, Earth is Biosphere 1, and this here is Biosphere 2. And that's worth a field trip. It's like a humongous greenhouse, giant. And they did a science experiment where they locked some people in there and have them live just on what they could grow. And there's water. They have their own little, like, you know, water. I remember I did a tour in there and I saw a waterfall, and they had water in there, and they were living off whatever they could do inside that greenhouse. And it was really pretty neat. And that was years and years ago. And you can tour inside there now and see the whole thing. And I just heard they're getting ready to do another experiment. They're going to lock some more people in there and see how long they can live off of just, you know, what they have in there. So that's kind of neat, and that's definitely a Tucson thing. Everybody knows about the Biosphere, so I thought I should probably point that out. Let me just back up and then kind of look at my list and make sure that I covered everything I wanted to go through. So just looking at this map so that you know, this area is considered north, and this is kind of northeast, this Tinka Verde area, and over here is east. And then, you know, obviously over this way is south, and then southwest, southeast. Over here is considered, Oro Valley is considered northwest, Marana is considered northwest, and then you go over here and it's west. So just so you can kind of get a feel what these different areas are called and considered. So I hope that I gave you enough information. I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure that I went over everything I wanted to tell you guys, but I think I got it all in. So I hope that you found this video helpful and that you enjoyed this Tucson map. Okay, so here we are. It's the best kept secret in Tucson. This is what we call EGs. If you're wondering how to pronounce this, it's EGs. And the EGs are these slushy drinks. I don't know if you can see this. It's not crunchy ice at all. It's very slushy, really smooth. They have all sorts of flavors. They have strawberry, lemon, pina colada. And then different times of the year, they come in different flavors. Now, I know that's not a secret to us Tucsonans, but it is a secret. If you don't live here, you definitely have to try it if you're here in town. Some of the best stuff in the world. They have wonderful French fries, my favorite here in Tucson.
And they also have really good sandwiches here. They're sub sandwiches and they're very good, but the EZs are the best, especially in the summer when it's a hot day outside. They sell them by the buckets. You can get 2 flavors in 1 cup, so you can get lemon and strawberry, whatever you want, but it's truly one of the best kept secrets in Tucson.
Thanks again for watching this map video on Tucson, Arizona. I hope it was helpful to you. And if it was, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, give us a like. That helps our channel out a lot. I'd really appreciate it. Again, if there's another video you'd like us to make, please leave that in the comments and we'll try to get that out for you. We have other videos on our channel all about living here in Tucson, so please check those out. And we have new videos coming out every week, so if you'd like to catch those, then please subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so that you know when a new video is dropped. Until then, I hope to see you around town. Bye-bye.